So you've
15,
only
I
been
think,
working
yeah.
together for, a short period of time. It's not like it's, a 30-year, 20-year relationship or something. Um, so, in a short period of time, you accomplished an awful lot of things. So hats off to you. And the way I kind of describe this, and tell me, and Justin, feel free to tell me if this feels right, but it's not like Jonathan came in and did the work. It wasn't, Jonathan, what, it wasn't like, everything just, you met Jonathan, then boom, magic, everything, came together. But he was kind of like Yoda and you were kind of like Luke. And you had a guide and a mentor and somebody to kind of put the guardrails up to say, you might want to think about this and help you to put together, some systems that you might not have put in place. You probably would have got there eventually because you're a smart guy and whatnot, but it sped up the process. Is that fair?
Yeah, and I'll dive even a little deeper into that. Is Jonathan, when we first started meeting, we didn't jump directly into the business and start just, growing. It was a lot of talking about what we wanted to do, what success looked like, and also how to be a good student. So he really focused on helping to set and build, the parameters of what coaching and, being a student of a coach is really, because some people, they're great and they're coachable, so to speak, and others feel like they already have all the answers and they know what to do, and they're not as coachable. So we spent a lot of time in the first 6 months diving into what it means to be coachable, what it means to be humble, and what it means to question everything you know. Because when you think you know everything and you don't need any more information, then a coach isn't going to be able to help you. So Jonathan really took a lot of time to understand myself, understand the family, understand the dynamic, and help me in turn understand what I need to do to be a good student and to open up and actually embrace the opportunity that I had in front of me. So we laid a lot of groundwork there before we really even started to take off and grow the business.
Fabulous.
Also, Michael, if I can just add to that, I was a pretty avid reader of business books when I met Justin, and I've read a lot of business books. By the way, for anyone who's going to write a book, you really have to stop reading other people's books to write your own book if you're going to be covering some of this. Like, I had to completely fast from reading business books for a while, but I would mention a book, one or two books, maybe during the course of a session. And within the next week, Justin had already picked up a copy and was, 100 pages into it. Right. So, he was a voracious learner of whatever it was that I was sharing. So it worked really well like that.
That's great. One of the things we always say is leaders are learners. You have to, if you're going to lead, you have to be learning. So congrats. That's great, Justin. Hats off. Jonathan, just based on what Justin just said, that's pretty interesting because I would say most coaches dive right in to let's, make an impact on the business. And it was really smart strategically that you said, let me make sure I'm making an impact on the leader first.
Yeah, you can't change the business unless you can change the person first, I think, right? I mean, it's just like if you want to be an entrepreneur, the first thing you should probably work on is your mindset. What is your own reality around being an entrepreneur? What are the obstacles that block you? Let's get clear about that. And
Great.
let's start removing that. Let's start working on your energy level, your excitement, your enthusiasm, your ability to inspire other people. If you can't work on that stuff, then you can't really lead. So leadership starts with having a vision, and then your strategy, your direction, your plans, all that stuff cascades down from that. But first you have to have the vision.
Love
and
it.
It's, and also, like, and this is a quote roughly from BC Forbes, who said, the business of living is living, not business. So, right, so you have to start with, what do I want my life to look like? And then make your business goals around that, because otherwise, people who start with business goals and, set up monstrous, business goals, they crowd out their entire life. And, business is an entity outside of ourselves, but life is not an entity outside of ourselves. So start with yourself.
We're eagerly awaiting the online course that you're going to develop around that, so we can share that across the country, because I think that 6-month course would be phenomenal for a lot of people.
Thank you.
What if I could add to that just a little bit? One of the things that really stood out for me is developing the values, not only the values of the business, the core values of the business, which drives, hiring, firing, decision making, all that, but the values of the leader too. What does the leader value? Do they want to, sit on a beach and work 4 hours a week? Or do they want to create an opportunity to pick and choose where they want to put their time into their business and build a team around them? And so the values, I think, have to align, and figuring those values out is not an easy task. We can all say, I value family, I value happiness, I value money, whatever. But truly deep down, when you go deep into the values, you find a whole nother level of yourself that you didn't really know existed. And when you start to align those values of the leader and the family with the values of the business, that's where you can unlock this hidden potential. And we spend a lot of time going deep into the values and deep into the purpose of the business and where we are today.